Human body versus nuclear explosion. Imagine a moment of unparalleled destruction, a nuclear explosion. In an instant, the fabric of life is torn apart by a force beyond comprehension. But what exactly happens to the human body when exposed to such a catastrophic event? Let's take a detailed journey through the chain of destruction. At the moment of detonation, the nuclear device releases an intense burst of energy. This is the thermal radiation. Light and heat so powerful that it shines brighter than the sun. For anyone standing within a kilometer of the blast, the experience is devastating. The light is blinding, searing the retinas and rendering anyone looking directly at it instantly blind. The heat wave follows, reaching temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. This wave engulfs everything in its path, igniting clothing, charring skin, and causing third-degree burns in less than a second. At ground zero, human bodies are vaporized, disintegrating entirely into ash. But the horror doesn't end there. Moments later, the shock wave, a powerful blast of compressed air, races outward at supersonic speeds. The pressure is unimaginable, flattening buildings and sending debris flying at deadly velocities. For a human, the force would rupture eardrums, crush internal organs, and throw bodies violently into walls, vehicles, or even the ground. If someone were fortunate or unfortunate enough to survive the heat and shock wave, they would face yet another invisible enemy, radiation. Gamma rays and neutrons penetrate deep into the body, damaging cells and DNA. Radiation sickness sets in, causing symptoms such as severe nausea, vomiting, and hair loss. Within days, the body's immune system collapses, leaving victims vulnerable to infections, internal bleeding, and organ failure. Let's zoom out a bit. For those further away from the epicenter, survival may seem possible, but the aftermath of the explosion poses its own deadly threats. The nuclear fallout, a mix of radioactive particles thrown into the air by the explosion, begins to rain down. These particles contaminate everything they touch: water, soil, plants, and even the air. Breathing in this radioactive dust can lead to long-term health problems, including cancer and genetic mutations. The fallout doesn't just affect those in the immediate vicinity, it can spread for hundreds of miles depending on wind patterns, bringing destruction to areas far from the blast zone. But the physical effects are only one part of the story. Imagine the psychological impact of such an event. Survivors are left to grapple with unimaginable loss. Family, friends, homes, and entire communities wiped out in seconds. The mental trauma lingers long after the physical wounds heal. Historically, we've seen glimpses of this devastation. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 serve as grim reminders. In Hiroshima, tens of thousands of lives were lost instantly, and countless others suffered from the long-term effects of radiation exposure. Survivors, known as hibakusha, shared harrowing accounts of the devastation, accounts that continued to serve as a warning to humanity. In the aftermath of a nuclear explosion, recovery is slow and painful. The affected area becomes a barren wasteland, uninhabitable for years, even decades. The environment suffers too. Wildlife is killed, ecosystems are destroyed, and radioactive contamination prevents new life from thriving. Yet, amidst this bleak picture, one question remains. How do we ensure such a catastrophe never happens again? The power of nuclear weapons is a sobering reminder of humanity's ability to create unparalleled destruction. It's a call for responsibility, diplomacy, and a collective commitment to peace. A nuclear explosion isn't just a moment of destruction. It's an event with consequences that ripple through time. From the immediate devastation to the long-term impact on survivors, the environment, and future generations, it's a stark reminder of what's at stake. Let this serve as a moment of reflection on the power we hold as a species and the responsibility we carry to protect, rather than destroy, the world we call home.